Welcome back, Spicy.
Thank you.
Back behind the anvil once again. How you been?
Pretty good, honestly. A lot of good stuff happening.
Like I say, I see you playing with some 3D printing lately. Make me think of ideas.
Yeah, they're cool little machines if you know how to use them right.
Well, that's one thing I'm not very good with is technology. I'm okay with a computer. I'm sure if I sat at the computer every day and played around with stuff or doing more stuff with it, I'd probably get more versed with it, but not so much. But hey, before we get into it, we got to do the pay the bills, in the shop, knife classes, all that kind of stuff pays the bills. So, Behind the Anvil is brought to you by Mike's Damascus Knives LLC. From everyday carry to kitchen cutlery, and also one-on-one knife making experiences, aka classes. Come build a knife with me. You can find all that information out at mikesdamascusknives.com or Mike's Damascus LLC, Instagram, Mike D Knives, and American Bladesmith everywhere else. So, anyway, on with that. Enough of that. We got the bills paid. Let's dive into it, Spicy. How you been, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. A lot of boating, a lot of fishing.
I've seen that. We're going to talk about that boating and fishing lures and your new pet projects.
Yeah, well, it's not new. I'm just really diving into it lately.
Well, new from the virtue of me seeing your stuff pop up. So let's put it that way.
Fair enough. I have kept it pretty in-house. I haven't talked about it much yet.
Did you see the video I sent you on
Oh
Messenger?
no, I think it was something about like a duck, but I didn't
That,
get a chance to watch
yeah.
it.
So they 3D printed some arms like this, like it's walking around fighting and put it on the duck.
Yeah,
I said that. It's like, oh, Spicy's got to do that. Gotta,
yeah. I've seen people do that with chickens.
yeah. This one was a duck, and I had to send it to you. So what's been going on, buddy?
Well, I don't know how to answer that. That's the third time you've asked me. I don't know how to come up with a different answer.
Oh, I don't know. My brain kind of ADHD today. I just got
No,
back.
it's okay. It's like an easy thing to be like, here, like let's jump in. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, right?
Right. Uh,
So I believe what you wanted to talk about the most was like the 3D stuff, like whether that's printing or editing.
yeah. Let's talk about that.
All right.
Teach me,
So
oh, wise one, the great Randolph Beard.
if I was wise, I'd have a lot more money.
Well, the whiskers are getting off the white, so it must be wise wisdom, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure. That's what we'll call it. Definitely not stress.
Stress? Why would we be stressing? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but 3D printing is one of there's like two types of people that get a 3D printer. And there's the people that get it because they want to print infinite little toys, and there's people that get one because they want to make things that they need. And person A kind of gets bored with the machine after a while as person two, yes, I said that on purpose. Person two, like as you get more and more into modifying and printing stuff, like the more useful the machine becomes. Because you can print toys all day long, and eventually it's like, okay, I'm tired of the same toy that I've made 67 times. But like if you're constantly having to purchase things or print things and then go out of your way to like physically modify them anyway, like I think that person is going to get a lot more benefit out of getting the printer and learning some kind of 3D editing. Like I'm still very new at 3D editing. I'm actually using the Bamboo Studio software to design really primitive stuff, but it works. And like I can you just add or subtract cubes and cylinders and cones and lines, and it's really basic stuff that if you take your time with it, you can actually make a really advanced thing with a really low tech software, I guess you'd call it.
So, that program, do you have to buy it, or is it a free online thing you get on and play around with to learn?
Bamboo Studio is the Bamboo makes, well, it's a company. It makes 3D printers, and their in-house slicer is called Bamboo Studio. So you can use that studio to export to any type of printer, or you can just use it to generate a G code. G code is the math and the coordinates that your machine uses to, follow a path and put plastic down. Your machine doesn't understand what a 3D image is. It just knows go here, put plastic there.
Yep.
So
H
that's
X
that's what
Y X Y X Y X Y Z whatever,
Yep,
right?
basically.
No.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
had one, I think I'd be printing a lot more of these up. I really would. You know,
Yeah. Models are really cool.
I'm serious. I mean, there's a lot more of the starships and from Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and Stargate SG-1. A lot of shit. I'm like, if I had one of those, I think I'd be printing off a lot of those for my wall, or at least
Yeah.
print them off. That way, I'd have to put them together, and I think you have to on certain ships. You got to kind of
Yep.
put them together, and I think that'd be fucking awesome. I
It
just
is. It's a lot of fun.
I don't know how. I don't know. I just have to get on and play with. If there was a platform I could get on and just play, that'd be fun. Can't afford a 3D printer yet, but I also got thinking with a 3D printer, I could print up some really cool scales. Do have it. I guess you can feed different colors and material in it or something.
If you get an AMS system, yeah, you can do that.
I thought that'd be kind of fun. So, what have you been doing? I seen a video you're talking about. I don't know if you want to share that on here because this won't share for not this was Monday. So about like 2 weeks. So this one with this drop.
All right. Yeah. These will probably have been released by then. But the thing that you saw a video of was what I'm calling my rattle rockets. So this is made out of TPU. I designed this little piece. Sorry, I can't get it to focus very well on it, but essentially it's just a little, I hate to call it rubber because it's TPU, but it's essentially a rubber little harness that you can take these Amazon rattles. So these have kind of been real popular. These little glass rattles, so people shove
Hmm.
them inside their soft baits, and they're kind of disposable, really. But I was I took this design specifically because it's glass, and that means when it rattles, it's loud. So this is essentially a harness that you put that inside of, and now you've got your exposed glass rattle.
Ooh,
So it's still glass that's touching the water, or water is touching the glass. So I guess you would say. And it's also protected by this rubber piece. It holds it in place, but it also keeps it from really hitting stuff. And the best part of this is if you break the rattle inside this, you just pop it out and you go get another one of those rattles that are really cheap. If you find one on Amazon, I think they're about 17 cents a piece. You can buy them by the 50. So
nice.
you just take the old one out, put the new one in, and you're ready to go.
And that's just put on your bait. They're gonna get the bass to get mad and bite. Or
Yeah. So here's one that I have already glued
oh,
onto a jig. So you get like the rattle, obviously, and it's got an offset. See if I can get it to show there.
nice.
It's got an offset, so you can still put a trailer there if you want. But it's just super glue that holds it on there. Like I said, if the glass rattle breaks, you pop it out, put a new one in, you're good to go again.
So
So
does
it's a
that?
really
I was gonna say where it's sitting at. Does that really interfere? Have you? I'm guessing you tried these before already. Does that interfere
yeah,
with fish biting or no?
no. No, it goes on like you can see the hook is over here.
Hmm.
So then you've got a good gap and then you've got your rattle. So even if, well, they're going to want to eat this whole thing, right? They're not anticipating getting hooked. They want to eat this whole guy. So
Good point.
from my experience, I have not seen it cause misses or cause it to fail at setting the hook. And maybe there's some science there that somebody could really test if they wanted to. But in my
Okay.
opinion, it doesn't block anything, and I don't see it causing a failed hook set.
Well, at least keep the little fish away and let the bigger fish come in, which we want, right?
Ideally, yes.
Yes. What have you been fishing for? I guess. What do you have in Illinois? I've never fished in Illinois. So what do you have out there? I'm sure you got bass,
Yep.
catfish. What
Yep.
else?
So we've got largemouth bass mostly. Finding smallmouth in this area is kind of uncommon, or at least the lakes that I am familiar with. I haven't found any. Um, Most of the lakes now have some form of like striper, which is a small silver bass with black stripes. Um, let's
I
see, we got
seen.
big on. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, somebody. There's a lake about 80 miles from us. They posted a big picture, striper bass. It was that big at them. Like holy hell! I didn't know they had.
That's awesome.
It was a big one, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Then I did not know that particular lake had those in it now, so which is cool.
Yeah, it's always neat discovering like a new fish in a lake that you're already familiar with. Um, we got bluegill, big on bluegill, and there's like several varieties of bluegill or bream, whatever you want to call them. I'm sure each area calls it something different. But you just your general bait fish. There's some odd hybrid. It looks like a mix between like a bluegill and a bass shape, but it has like really bluegillish sort of colors, but the edges of its fins are like bright yellow. Whatever that is, I think is cool. We got rock bass, channel catfish, blue catfish. I think there's some flathead around here, flathead catfish. A lot of crappie. Crappie are big. There's some rock bass that I think's in a couple local lakes. So there's pretty good variety.
Nice.
Like there's nothing that's really like, wow, that fish is definitely in this area. Like you just kind of catch a little bit of everything.
Nice. Which one's your favorite to catch?
Obviously bass. A lot of my someone asked me not too long ago, maybe like 6 months ago, they were like, "So what is about fishing that really drives you to it?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "The competition. I love competition. I rarely care if I win or lose, but competition is like a thing that I love, no matter how good I am at it." And it was funny because they were like, "Wow, I didn't expect that answer." I was like, "Okay, well, what do you mean?" They're like, "Well, I figured it'd be something like about being just, calm and peaceful and at one with nature on the water." And that made me laugh
Well,
because I feel
you
like that
do
would,
get honestly, you do get that vibe off of being out in the woods, one with
yeah.
nature. I mean, you do. I'm not trying to be rude, but you do get off that vibe.
Well, yeah. Well, they were very surprised that I was like, no, I like the opposite side with the stress and the fast pace. I've also
Oh,
been taking a buddy of mine fishing. His name's Chaz. Um, he essentially doesn't really have hands. They're like stuck in a
oh,
way that he can't use them like me and you can. And he has been fishing with his feet because that's basically his hands. So just yesterday, Um, I hooked one and I let him reel it in. Immediately after that, he hooked his own fish for the first like in time in his life. He casted and hooked the fish and got it in, and then he had
nice.
another one. So even though we only caught three fish yesterday, he had like three life goals ticked off in a row, and like we were both super pumped. We went and ate so much Chinese food in celebration.
That's awesome. Oh God,
Yeah,
Chinese food sounds so good. I cooked up some spare ribs last night that I had in the freezer. Like, ooh, we better pull those out. So I pulled them out 2 days ago, defrosted them on the counter for a few hours, had them in the fridge, and finally said I better cook them up tomorrow. Like looking at it, like, ooh, I better cook those last night. So I cooked that with a little cabbage on it and some shake
sounds pretty good.
shake spice rub. Let's get that right. You can get that at redlegrub.com. So shout out for our buddy Shay K. I need to get him on here one of these days too. So
What's stopping you?
didn't I send you some of that out to you?
I don't remember. The last few years have been a whirlwind. So
Well, when you get a second, I'll send you a couple on the house.
okay,
Let you try it out. Send you the original and then the Willie Pete. So see if it goes well. I found out it really good on watermelon one year.
that's weird. I don't know. I don't know about that.
It was. I was just sitting there like, you know what? I mean, I use it on salad. I use it. God, I use it on eggs. God, there's not a thing I don't use it on. I kind of took a break from it because I started using it way too much, and you get burnt out on seasoning.
Yeah,
And then I went back to the good old fashioned salt and pepper. But I bet it's gonna be some good. Send it out there. Try it on some bass and let me know.
can do. I can
So,
definitely do that.
but yeah. So tell us more about your 3D printing. You got this thing. How did you come up with it?
Um, I don't remember how the original thought started, but I started making jigs, um, because I thought it would be cool if, because my kid's really creative, and we both fish relatively often.
I seen that.
So I thought it would be cool if we could make a jig and then go catch fish with the thing that we made. And so that's how like the jib making started. And there's a lot of jigs out there that have rattles on them. I was like, okay, well, let me look for jig rattles, and the ones that came up were those glass ones. And I had seen several other people that were just shoving them inside their soft lures, and I was like, I wonder if I could use that incredibly cheap rattle and make an actual good rattle pack with it. And I had a rattle collar originally. So your main, because there was like three ports on it. Your main port would have went here on your jig, and then the other two ports you would take the glass rattle, and you can see that it's kind of got like a little ball up there at the tip of the bulb thing
Well,
there. So there was like a cone that I took, like 3D edited a cone inside of it, and you just poked that through and glued them in. And it worked. You could put two rattles per jig on it, but the only problem is the rattle was so exposed that it was really brittle. So anytime I cast and hit anything other than the water, like even if you bumped a tree or yeah, it would shatter. And because you had to glue them in place on that particular design, you couldn't really reuse it. So I kind of redid it with this one. So not only is it like the sound to me is just as loud as the other one, and it's also way more protected. So that's kind of where that came from and how the jig thing started.
mm-hmm.
And then I
That,
got into.
oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I remember a while back you're printing off little fish jigs and such. You're painting up. I mean, with the 3D, you could edit it and leave a little slot in there that you could slide that in and glue it in. Like leave a hole, push it down, leave it in where it's exposed both sides.
You could, but most of the designs on those are hollow. So you
Hmm.
can put like BBs, like you could put BBs inside there, and that's your rattle.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how most of them are manufactured. Like the crankbaits, like you're referencing, are in the stores. Like they have little steel beads inside of them, and that's what makes it rattle.
Wouldn't it, the rattle be, well, with the glass and that, let's say you're taking a little minnow and you had a little space in it where you can see the glass and such. Would that be better for the sound, the vibration to go out than just be inside your bait or your lure? Duh.
um, I guess it would depend. Like in my opinion, that like yeah, maybe it would be louder, but it has three tiny beads in it. Whereas I think if you put a single BB inside there, that knock would sound a lot louder and a lot more natural than the three bead glass packs on it. And
Okay.
if you put the three bead glass packs on a crankbait, like if it got shattered, like how would you glue a new one in?
Good point. Good point. Didn't think about that. Just something popped in my head. Could you print your own little glass things, your little rattles, out of curiosity? I know there's a cheap
Probably.
one jumping on there. Just a random thought. You know, ADHD is fun when you sitting there working and everything else. I literally walked in from the shop, was hurrying, washing my arms up because I was only gonna. I went out to glue up two knife handles. I got four on the bench I'm working on, and I ended up like, oh, I got plenty of time. I looked at the clock and it was 3:35. All right, I got one. I got time to do one more. And next thing, just as I'm going again and clamping up, the alarm goes beep 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 beep. I'm like, crap! I better run to the house. So hurry, get the acetone out and see if I got any cuts in my hands. You know, end of the day, see if you got any cuts. You know, wash your hands with the acetone, get the glue off, then come and wash. So far, I didn't bleed today, so it was a good
Nice.
day.
That's a good day.
So, yeah, this 3D stuff is pretty cool. I mean, I've seen a little bit of you shared and everything else. Besides your jigs and everything else, anything else you've been playing with it?
Yeah, I've actually started designing my own lures from scratch. I'm not very far in yet. I've only done one, and I haven't released it because it kind of looks like a dick and balls. Just being
I
honest.
knew there was a penis going to come up in this conversation. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
here, I only printed one side of the model.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. So
So
it
that,
does.
yeah. So that's a mold. You're gonna okay. So you're gonna pour resin in it or what?
No, this is you inject a soft plastic.
Inject it.
Like
Inject it. Sorry,
yeah.
not
So
pour.
your soft lures like you get at the store, it's called a plastisol. Like that's what you make it with. It comes as a liquid, and once it gets above a certain temperature, it turns into like a rubber almost when well after it cools, but it has to get up to a certain temperature to activate. So you heat it up, you add whatever colors you want to, you take your other half of your mold, stick it together, clamp it together, and then you take Imagine like a turkey baster that has a suction tube. So you suck it up and then you put it on top of your mold and you shove the plastic in there. And that's
Nice.
pretty much it. It's not a complicated process, but designing a lure is a little tricky.
Oh, tell us about it.
Um,
Educate me, sir.
I wish I could just like
Oh,
share a
Grand Wizard.
screen.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the Grand Wizard today. Between Spicy, the Grand Wizard, Mike.
Don't call me Grand Wizard. I think it's a KKK thing.
Oh, God. Good point. Fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't think about that.
Ugh, not associated.
Not associated. Okay. We'll just stick with Spicy Mike. Stay in your wheelhouse, Michael, for God's sakes. Oh, that's funny.
But
Oh.
anyway,
Anyway,
so
moving on.
yeah, so designing a lure because the crankbaits that I did, I found online models, and as I would run into problems with them, I would edit something in them to make it like the process of manufacturing them easier. So yeah, it might be someone else's original design, but by the time I release something for sale, it's been heavily modified. And it's actually the reason I got into lures in the first place, well, the jigs, but then I started 3D printing molds. There's a filament type called PPS CF10, and it is like heat resistant up to like 250 degrees Celsius, which is way above the temperature that you would inject your plastisol. Um, I don't know if you can see here, but there's the two halves
Okay.
of
Looks
this
like
mold. They
bullets.
make little, yeah, they make little like tiny little fish looking lures.
Nice.
Um,
Like a minnow
yeah,
type thing.
yes, exactly. So designing the lure is one thing, but then you have to like turn the lure into a negative and go and take it out of your square, right? And that's how you get the two halves of your mold. Um, this is the same as before. Like I was taking someone else's mold and heavily modifying it to be easier to manufacture, but yeah, like doing my own molds was the goal, and that's why I got into 3D editing or 3D modeling in the first place was because I wanted to be able to make my own lures. Like you can buy them online, but they're kind of expensive for like a single mold. It can be anywhere between like 30 and $85. And
Wow.
some of those only have like one or two cavities inside them. So I was like, okay, well, why would I do this when I can just buy a machine? And that's how I got my other 3D printer. I can buy another machine that can handle these engineering filaments, specifically PPS CF10, and I can start making my own molds out of that filament with my own printer. And now like the filament is very expensive, but per unit it would still cost less to print them than it would be to purchase them. And it gives me the opportunity to make my own lures and my own molds, like completely independent. I'm not reliant on
Big
somebody orders
fish.
100 of them.
Big
Huh?
fishery. You're not dependent on
Yeah,
big fishery.
yeah, exactly. But
Be
if
like
somebody orders,
big medicine or big
yeah,
pharma.
big pharma, yeah, big
Sorry.
insurance.
I'm trying to crack jokes here, It's not working so
You're
well.
all right, man.
Oh.
You know,
So
not every day is perfect. So like you got away with not having cuts today. That's your one allowable good thing.
the day is not over with, so I mean
That's
there's
true.
paper right here, so watch out. God, I seen a gentleman out of Seguin, Texas, wrote a book called "Everything in Your Shop Wants to Kill You and How to Stop It" is the name of his book. I'm gonna
That's
get him on
amazing.
here, right? I'll send you a link over to it
That's
later once we get
hilarious.
there. Yeah, I mean, and I looked at the title of the book, and I'm like, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I mean, granted, I put a knife in my leg off the buffer and like that in the belly once. So
Ugh,
I told you about those stories, right?
probably, but
Yeah,
that's
I'm sure I
assuming that
said
I
it.
have good memory, which I do not.
Uh, I can't even remember what happened yesterday half the time. So, but anyway, so yeah, I like that idea. Printing up your own stuff. I mean, then you get real creative. So I'm guessing it's a little cheaper than, hey, I want to make me a knife, and I don't want buy all the stuff to make a knife, and then I can make knives for myself, and they'll be a lot cheaper. Sounds like this is a little bit cheaper than that process.
Uh, I feel like we
Ish.
don't start making knives because we want to make knives for ourselves. I feel like we just want to make cool stuff.
True.
And a lot of it is like, can I do that? Like I think we all started knife making. We were like, huh, that sounds interesting. I wonder if I can.
Same, but I also like the money end of it because I could build something and then go buy me something really cool that I wanted.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like the money is also nice when you can, use your hobby to make a dollar. But I don't think that's where any of us started. Like, I don't think we ever, like, I'm going to sell knives. It's like, no, I want to see if I can make one.
So, I had a few when I was sitting down there thinking about one before we jumped on here. I had a few questions in my mind. I knew I should have chatted them down, but on these molds, now you can instead of buying one, it's got two or three. I mean, I guess you can build them up to where they're like three, four, even six at a time.
Yeah. I have one mold. It's in the other room, but I have one mold that I made into an 8 cavity mold. It was like I got the mold or I downloaded the STL, and then I took,
STL.
yeah. So
Break it
there's
break it
two.
down for people that just bang on metal and grind, please.
So an STL is basically a 3D file.
Okay.
That's so you're downloading someone else's design, or you can make them. You can make your own STL. But what I was doing was taking the ones that I found online, and some of them were designed for open pour, so not injection. You just heat up your stuff and you dump it in there. So I modified that and put a bunch of it. Like you have a build plate, like a certain size that your printer can handle. So I would mock up, like get in the software, make a build plate that's the same size as whatever printer you're going to use. And I basically rerouted some of the venting holes and then made them 8 cavity. And then it's got one injection port in the middle that feeds all 8 cavities. So there's four that go out on each side.
I never would have thought about with doing the vents just like you do a hot pour with copper, brass, or anything else. Never would have
Yeah,
thought.
it's exactly the same.
Never would have thought for plastic stuff that you'd need the same thing. So, hey, I'm learning stuff today. I mean, I've done a little bit of casting, with a little bit of sand casting, nothing really fancy, but I always never put enough pores in it so I get bubbles within the material. It holds all the air. And
Yeah, so that's why venting is important. And like there's ways to do it that work well, and there's ways to do it that don't. Like there's one mold that I ordered. It came in, it was abysmal. It was terrible. It didn't work on its own. So I tried to create some venting on it, but it still performed poorly because I didn't vent it well. So essentially like if you don't have a way to vent, air gets trapped inside there. And when air gets trapped inside there, as that plastic cools, that air will shrink. So you have one side that has like a giant scoop like taken out of it. That's not great. So I vented a bunch of different spots on the cavity, but I connected all the vents and they all had the same outport. So
oh, nice.
one, yeah, that sounds nice, but like
No,
as you inject it, one of them will go up there, and as soon as it gets into the where it goes out, the other two can no longer move air freely through there.
okay.
Yeah. So like as soon as one of those, because the vents are very, very thin and very tiny. They're not very deep.
Once you get
So
full goop, it's done, and you're still holding air in and nowhere to go.
yes.
Ah,
Yeah, because once it goes, it's such a small, thin, narrow tube that as soon as plastic goes in there, it immediately cools. And once it cools, it can't flow anymore. So it blocks the other two, three, four vents that were connected to it. So you kind of have to vent a little more intelligently. So like basically every spot that you want to vent on the lure needs to have its own completely open path to the outside of the mold.
never would have thought of that. That's probably the reason why I was having problems when I was casting my copper back in the day. Not enough air holes out to get the air out. So
Right. Yeah, I would highly
makes
agree with
sense.
that.
Um, so yeah, there was a fish. Another. Oh my hell! It's been
One
a.
of those days.
It was, and then yesterday it was. Yesterday I did two classes back to back, Friday and Saturday. And Sunday, I'm like, I ain't doing squat. And I got up early. I went to bed early Saturday. Ooh, excuse me.
You're
And
good.
then got up early. I tried to sleep in on Sunday, didn't work. About 7:30, my body's like, if I don't get up early, my arms will start going numb. It's like,
Really?
yeah, it's just weird. It's like, I have usually you wake up with your arms numb, but if I'm laying there in bed more than a certain amount of hours, my body's like, all right, asshole, time to get up. Let's go. Let's get moving.
Giving you a
So
warning.
yeah, hands go numb. It's really weird. Like I'm laying there, and if I get up, I don't have that problem. Yeah, or my legs get a little more tense. Well, end up getting up and everything, move around this that morning, do a little chores, sit down, watch my shows, vegging out on what the hell did I marathon yesterday? Um, oh, I started geeking out on Resident Alien again. So you ever watch that?
No, what is it?
Well, I'll send you a link to a reel to it, but basically, I can't think of the actor's name. An alien comes to destroy the planet and wipe out the human race, crashes, ends up taking the form of some dude, and then becomes human basically, and yeah, it's funny as shit. Oh, what the hell was his name? I can't. He was in Firefly. He was also in that Heath Ledger was in it too. Oh, where he pretends to be a knight.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. He in Firefly, he's Wash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
did
can't think of
you?
his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the kind of weird guy. Um, did you hear about Firefly?
Apparently they're making another movie.
Well, I think they're trying to come out as a cartoon version of it.
Oh, an animated version. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think yeah, okay.
Right. Speaking of
That
movies,
would be awesome.
right, I can't wait. I like Firefly, but not as much as I did like Star Trek, so I didn't follow it like that. So literally, I can go back and watch all the original movies or series, and it's all brand new to me, which is I think it's on my list. Um, speaking of that, next month we got a couple movies. He-Man's coming out. Did you see
He-Man.
that? Master of the Universe.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, they I don't I know they came out with one like in the 90s, early 2000, but they did another one now. It's where the digital technology is way better. I'll send you a preview of it. Skeletor looks badass.
Nice.
I mean, that's taken way back, but anyway, enough of the movie stuff. Back into fishing here. So I see you getting a collection of boats.
Yeah, I've got four at the moment.
Tell us a little bit about that. We got mine. Just a little fix up projects, having fun, or
Yeah, so I've always loved fishing, and a few years ago I made it my New Year's resolution to own a boat by the end of that year. I didn't make that happen, but the relationship I was in, all of my money left all the time. So not very long after I became single, one of them popped up on Facebook Marketplace that was a 1989 Bass Tracker fiberglass boat. So if you imagine a bass boat, like this is probably the one that's in your head. Um, and the guy that was getting rid of it, he listed it for $500. So when I went to look at it, and basically I was going to buy it either way, but I said, "Hey, so you had this listed for $500, and it's like a pretty good boat. So like, why did you list it for $500? What's the thing?" And he was like, "Honestly, I just wanted to move it. I was rebuilding it for my granddaughter, so me and her could go fishing. But by the time she got old enough to do that, I haven't really messed with the boat at all. It just became kind of something in the backyard, and now she's into four-wheelers. So I want to take the money from selling this boat and build her a four-wheeler." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I I went back. I told him that I would come back maybe like the next week or something and grab it. I got back to the town that I live in, and I called him. I said, "No, I want this now. I'm going to go to an ATM. I want to give you the money. Let me come get this." And I did. So I came home with it, and it's like a legit bass fishing boat. Like I said, if you imagine one, this is the one. Um,
nice.
yeah, but I mean, it needed a lot of work. and a lot of work. I mean, like it was filled with like 4 inches of like leaves and sticks and acorns and stuff like that. But it was a lot of work to clean out. But once I got it cleaned out, all the important stuff was there. I tested the engine. The engine ran. It's a very old engine, so you can't hook it up with modern steering systems. So I'm gonna have to custom build a steering system, but that's just time. I have so much of that available. That's my most available asset. So I don't mind dumping time into something because it doesn't cost me any money. So I've been slowly fixing it up. I there was what was it? Oh, there was holes in the back where there used to be a couple of sensors. Essentially, I don't know. They're for the old school style speedometers. There was like a tube that as water went in the tube and created pressure that told you how fast it was going. But that was gone, and there was just some holes in the back. So I like epoxied, took some t-shirts, soaked them in epoxy, and poked a whole bunch of little t-shirt bits in there because that's essentially what fiberglass is, right? Like it's glass strands and resin, and this is just
Hmm.
cloth and resin. So to fix that, I still haven't built a steering system. I've got it completely stripped out. Like all of the wiring is out of it. I've got the front trolling motor working. So even though I can't use my outboard yet, I control all over all over whatever lake I go to, and it's just been fantastic. Like honestly, it has been so much fun. If there's somebody out there who wants that kind of boat, I would highly encourage you to go get a discounted one off Facebook Marketplace and work on it. Like it's fun to work on. Once you get it like the way you want it and you get to go out and like be on it in the water in your boat, that's awesome. Like yeah, maybe it only has a trolling motor. So what? Go enjoy it. Like it doesn't have to go 90 an hour to go catch fish. Fish don't
Oh, come
swim that
on.
fast.
Don't you want that 600 horsepower so you can beat everybody to the spot and get in there fishing?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't want to do that. That sounds like your boat's gonna
I
flip. I'm
never
not
could
trying to do
understand
that.
that. You got this really, I mean, my neighbor's got a bass boat, and it's a nice boat, so you got the small boat, and then you got this great big goddamn horsepower motor on the back. I'm like, if you wanted the jet boat, well, that's where we go competition. We got to race out and none of them. Like, why? I
I
mean,
get it if you're fishing tournaments. Yeah, you want to get to the good spot first, right? Like in a tournament, that makes sense. I'm not fishing tournaments right now. I'm going fishing with
yeah,
my buddy who fishes with his feet. So low bar, it works, it floats. We go out, we have a good time, have a couple beers. Everybody's happy.
right. What kind of size of motor does it got on it for it? I should say.
I don't know what the trolling motor is offhand, but the outboard engine is a 65 horsepower, old school, like a really old school Johnson. Like all the modern engines are like black, right? This one's like
The blue or
creamish.
green?
No, yeah, it's like creamish white with the like almost army green, slight a couple shades lighter than army green. So it's
Oh,
pretty old. Yeah,
I'm gonna say,
but
yeah.
I
You were Navy, weren't you?
yes,
That's
yeah,
right.
I didn't really do anything,
I was gonna say the
but I
army
was
green doesn't match you first. So better paint navy blue. No, just kidding.
yeah, no, we had digital blue camouflage because that makes sense.
Hey, there you go. You can paint that on there.
No, I'm all right. Uh,
Oh, that's funny shit. Sorry, I had to poke at that a little bit.
no, you're good. You're good.
I was gonna say I got thinking the other day about 3D printing. I've seen your stuff and a few other people's been printing. And it's like, I got thinking. There's a lot of old antique sewing machines and such like that, and the parts you just can't get. And then some of these 3D printers that basically weld metal. It's got the metal. You can use
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for.
yeah.
And I got thinking, like, if I was a little bit smarter, I was able to afford to get one of those and start get the pieces that are broken, put them all together. I mean, they've got these 3D laser scanners. You can literally scan the part and then build a model out
Yeah.
of it. I think there'd be an market to manufacture aftermarket parts for these. The 3D printer would be awesome for that. For these old singers, the old boot machines, leather machine workers, because the whole thing. Have you ever seen these boot machines that sew the sole together and everything? You ever see one of those? They're great,
Mm-mm.
big, huge things, and they're one part from never working again. The rest of the machine can be great, but one little part breaks, and that thing is slide it at the corner. Hopefully, you can find one out there in the market, But I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
thinking that would be so. If anybody's out there thinking about it, hey, there you go. There's a free niche there. I mean that, and not just for sewing machine, but there's so many. There's one guy I follow, or actually, I just followed him for a while because he got way into in the political stuff. It's like, dude, just go back to making fun of doing your stuff, make fun. Getting way
Yeah.
off deep on Israel and this and that. I'm like, oh,
What's that
who
have to do with
cares?
knives?
What's that?
What's that have to do with knives, right?
Right? I mean, I followed him because it was 3D. Basically, he was printing parts off for vehicles that you couldn't get anymore
Yeah.
and such like that. And I guess you could do the same thing with your boat too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of custom stuff that I've made for it already. Well, I say
Oh,
a lot. It's like two or three things.
nice.
Um, it's basically switch panels. So, like if you're sitting in the driver's spot, right? It's going to look like this is my left hand. This is my right. It's just how flippy things work. But down to your right, there's like a whole switch panel that controls like your live wells and your running lights and power to this, your front power distribution, and there's just a bunch of different buttons. So that panel doesn't fit really the way it should anymore. So I took that out and 3D printed my own. It doesn't, I don't, my 3D printer is not big enough to print the full size that the plate used to be, but I was able to get enough of what I needed and screw it in. And I have one main distribution switch, like that turns power on to everything in the boat. And then I have it's essentially a gauge. It tells you how much percentage of your battery you have left. And
Hmm.
then I have another switch that turns on the power to the front trolling motor. So you only have one button, kill the entire boat, and I
So
can add as
a main
many.
switch.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of like your main breaker switch in your house.
Nice. So
Yeah.
what happens if you run out of power in the lake? Get out the paddles?
Well, I've got the cool little meter, so I know exactly how much electricity I have left.
No. Or you can break out your little solar panel. No.
That would be dope, dude. Solar
Right.
charging while you're fishing.
There you go.
Or like, maybe not a solar panel, but like just a hot chick on the back deck tanning. That'd be nice.
How about both? She could hold up the thing and absorb
Oh, like
some.
the reflecting
Yeah,
thing
there
of
you
this.
go. Well, you
Isn't
don't
that?
have to
Oh, that's
have
so
a
old school.
you don't have to have a like a solar panel. They got these panels now that literally roll up. I mean, how you could pick up something and just pull it out. Sunshade. There you go. Roll
That'd
it
be
back up.
awesome. I've thought about because my kid has mentioned he's like, "Can you camp on a boat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't." And now it's got me thinking, like, I wonder if I could build some sort of tent system to pop up over the top of the boat, like at night, if you wanted to camp on the boat. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, that wouldn't be all that hard. I mean, I mean, shit, just have a pole come up and just do one of the umbrella things and roll up, claps down, put it away.
Yeah, I was hoping for more one that like covered the shell of the boat, so that way you can have like mosquito nets. Me
Ah,
and mis me and mosquitoes don't get along. Oh my
they
God,
they,
they make me
they
so
like
angry.
you. They like you a lot, huh?
I guess so.
You got that blood type. They just like. I used to be a mosquito magnet when I was a kid. I walk outside, turn around, come back in. I was nothing but a bite
Yep,
marks everywhere. I mean,
yep.
it was bad.
Y- By the end of the summer, you've got like scars on your legs from scratching all the mosquito bites so bad.
Still do. Still do.
Yep.
Um, Eat a lot of garlic. They'll leave you alone.
I'm out of garlic. It's very sad.
Oh no! Hurry,
I know.
everybody! P.O. box. What? Send spicy garlic. Oh,
Emergency garlic.
friends of mine just moved out to Illinois, Missouri. They live on the Illinois side, but work in Missouri and everything else. And they're like, "Oh, I'll be fine with the humidity." It's like, yeah, until you're gonna love it about July when all the bugs come out. Oh, they're
Yeah.
not gonna be that bad. I'm like, yeah, they will be. If there's anything like Dustin when we were at the Dustins that one night and turned the lights on, the whole
Yeah.
yard just bugs.
Dude, this area is like so damp. Like, 'cause it's a really humid area. Like it's just so densely packed with mosquitoes. You can't go outside without there being hundreds of mosquitoes.
And honestly, I think they're not too far away from where you're at. Honestly, you're not
And I
too.
think they're about an hour and a half north of me.
No, I meant you're what an hour east of Missouri or St. Louis, should say
2 hours.
2 hours. I think
Yeah.
there's somewhere there, right? I think yeah. Anyway, they're gonna yeah. I told them, I warned them, but it's gonna be funny to hear later on this summer.
What's that?
The bugs. They don't. Well, the humidity's gonna be it's gonna be humid, but the bugs are the worst.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I don't think
Yeah.
it's gonna be that bad. It's like you're
It
coming from
is. I
yeah.
live here. It is that bad.
I've been there. I mean, I've had to go to the car wash when it, with the truck and everything before we left because going back and
Hitting all
forth.
the bugs.
Yeah, because well, from Shaboner, not Shaboner. What the hell's that town that Dustin used to live by, where the
I think
farmhouse?
that's the name of it. Chobanier, I think they pronounce
Chobanier,
it.
yeah, Chobanier.
Yeah.
From there, from the hotel to there, back and forth, a few times. Man, just plastered bugs. I mean,
Yep.
hit clouds of it. It's like,
Yeah.
ugh. But he won't be in Illinois much longer. He's moving out
Yeah, he
in
said
a
he's
month,
moving.
so they're excited.
Yeah, I bet so.
The new place looks pretty cool. He sent me some pictures and such. Yeah, I was looking at flights out to go out there. It's like, God, it'd be fun to go out there and check things out, hit Sevierville and all that again. It's
Hmm.
like I looked at the flights for me and the kid, and I'm like, holy shit, $1,000 round trip, man. That's
Whew,
nuts.
that's pretty pricey.
Yes, I think I'd rather go fishing. Which speaking of which, I need to go get a new fishing license too. So I just realized
Yeah, those
mine.
are handy.
Yes, it sucks that we got to have that, but whatever.
Well, here in Illinois, at least, it goes to the conservation of like the lakes and stuff like that. So like it goes to a good cause. And some lakes are way better, way better maintained than other lakes. Like you can tell kind of where they actually put their resources. The local lake that I have been going to since I was a child is not well maintained, but my the reason I'm going there is because if I can go there and pick bass out of the water there, I can go to any lake and find bass. So I'm
Nice.
kind of I think like every day last week I went fishing between the lake that I'm talking about, and then there's another one that's just like 7 minutes up the road called Arrowhead. It's a
Hmm.
really small lake that you can only use a trolling motor on, but it's an all right time.
Nice.
You should come out here sometime, and we'll do
I
like
need
a
to. I need to.
yeah.
I was out there 3 years ago. I was going to dive in, but and visit you guys on the way home, but I had to make a 2 day trip really fast as I could to get back to go get my daughter because the ex took out left the country without saying anything and pretty much left
Oh
her alone at the time. So,
yeah, I don't
but
think you're
hey,
supposed to do that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if it'd have been fine. Just hey, my trip coincides with yours. You need to stay home, which I would have done. I didn't find out until I was out there at Dustin's there when he first opened
Yeah,
the shop.
life happens.
Yep, but I have custody of my daughter now, so
That's
I ain't
good.
got to worry about that crap no more. So thank God.
But yeah, you should come out sometime, and we'll go fishing a lot of places.
That sounds good to me. Just got to find me a day job because, well, knives ain't moving all that great right now. So,
Yeah, everything's hard. It's hard to move anything right now. Everybody's like so low on money. Like everyone. It's not like some people. It's like everybody has to spend so much money just to exist right now. Like this
I mean,
luxury items like me and you make, it's hard to justify.
right. I mean, in some areas, I've talked to a few people, they're just boom, boom, knives are moving like crazy. I'm like, what the hell? In other places is why? It's weird. I mean,
Yeah.
you got your pockets of your economy around our country. It's just funny. It's to hear, you hear I ain't doing worth crap, and then two states over or one state over, it's booming like no other. I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong here? So
Well, some of those people have built like an entire following, like not only online, but they're like really involved with their community. And like there's always going to be a few people in any community that are like they have a pretty good income, so they can spend it on things like that. That's
yeah,
not the majority of people, but because these people have connected themselves in their community the way they have more access to those people that do
very,
have enough to afford their luxury item.
very true, very true. And I've been so I stepped back a little bit and doing a little bit cheap, not really cheaper knives, more economical, affordable type, I guess you could say. Not getting all
Production knives.
yeah, production knives. And I also been doing folders too. So
Oh, very nice.
uh, frustrating. I had one that I was working on a week ago, week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and it was one. You ever get that spot where you're like working on it and it's fighting you and it's just fighting you and fighting you?
Yep.
Instead of just sitting there, and the back of my mind is like, set it down, come back tomorrow. The other part is like, oh hell no, I'm not letting this little bastard beat me. Yeah, well, 3.5 hours later, which it should have only been about an hour's job, took me 3 hours to do. I won. I beat him.
I'm
I
actually
said,
going through that with one of my molds right now. Um,
oh,
yeah, my dickfish mold actually. So yeah, that's what I'm calling it, the dickfish. Oh, even better. Let me back up to the dickfish again. So the one that looks like dick and balls, my one of my brother's friends was like, dude, I gotta get some of those because I sent him a picture of it and I said it looks like a PP. So he's like, I gotta get some of those. I was like, okay, well, what color would you want? He's like, give me some black and blue. I love black and blue. And I was like, dude, we gotta call the color blue balls.
there you go. There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh
So
Lord, this is funny shit.
the single mold that I showed you earlier, I only printed one side of it, and there were some things I wanted to change. So I did, and I had saved several copies of it. But eventually, I got to working on just a four uh four cavity mold of the dickfish. So I deleted all the other ones, and I really wish I wouldn't have because the four version is fighting me right now. Like my software is like, hey, it's got a lot of they're called non-manifold edges. So in a slicing software, if you combine two items, it doesn't necessarily understand that they're a single item yet. So sometimes there can be lines where two lines need to exist in the same spot. Obviously, that doesn't exist in reality. So you have to fix it. And my software is struggling to fix it because it has so many of these non-manifold edges. So I deleted the single mold, so I can't go back and fix it on the single version without redoing the entire mold and like rerouting all of the flow paths and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
you call them like I remember watching this one video, Gunsmith of Williamsburg, and when he make the molds, he goes in and cuts the gates. I guess that would be the same thing. Your little
yep,
pathways, the gates into it.
yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, I got weird stuff. You ever watch that? You can watch it on YouTube. Look up Gunsmith of Williamsburg. It's about 45 minutes to an hour long. It was filmed in '76. Really cool. Goes from wrought iron to finished rifle, Kentucky
That's
rifle.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send that to you. Matter of fact, you talk. I'm going to send that to you because if I don't send it to you right now, I'm going to forget.
uh, Trying to think of anything that I could just like. I really wish I could share screens. Like
You
it's
can.
got. Well, I can't find the thing for it, but like it's showing
Uh,
me, on camera here.
well, go look down. You should be able to. Down there, be an arrow. Should say share somewhere along the bottom.
Host disabled attendee screen sharing.
What? All right, hold on. One participant, host only. Look, I'm learning.
Oh, speaking of learning,
Yes.
there's a couple different softwares you can use to kind of play around with editing. You can either do the Bamboo Studio, which again, it's incredibly simple, just basic shapes, and you just stick them together. And another one that's browser based called Tinkercad. Either of those are a really, really good entryway into 3D editing because they are so incredibly simple.
I'm listening.
No, you're good.
You should be able to share now.
Oh, let's see.
And I'm going to share a video with you.
Let's go screen one.
I think you'll like. Used to watch this show, well, movie documentation, whatever. The original video my mom and dad had, I burned it up because I literally watch it and re-watch it. Ooh,
All right. Come on. Where'd you go, Bamboo? I believe in you. You can load, I promise.
What do you
It's
think
so
it's
slow.
while we're waiting for this to load? What do you think of the new Starlink system coming up?
I didn't know there was a new one.
Well,
A
they got
place I used
version
to.
3 they're working on now. It's going to have a wider, instead of version 1, you got kind of like this area of contact for it. Version 2 had a little bit wider. Version 3 is supposed to be, I can't remember, I read it, but it's got, man, those satellites are cool. Once they get the Starship to where they got them now. I don't know if you caught the last launch Friday, but they
Mm-mm.
got it. That PED dispenser, that's what they call it, PED dispenser, kicking the satellites out, the dummy satellites. And the last two dummies were actually had some cameras and lights on it. So when they came out, they were able to take pictures of Starship in orbit, suborbit, I should say, and they rolled it so they could look at the heat shield after launch and see how it looked and everything else, which was really cool. But
Nice.
as soon as they get a little bit better, Starlink in our area is okay. The down is really good, but the up is
Not so
not where it
much.
needs. Not as good unless you're in the big cities. That's where the
Yeah.
upload's a lot better. Well, I
Well, I
mean
think
that's
that's not just Starlink. That's a lot of different internets.
true. I got fiber now since I went the fiber
Oh,
directly to
nice.
my house. It's a lot faster. And
Yeah.
before when I was doing this, it was slow as shit on the upload at least.
I actually do everything through my phone. Oh, what's it called? Phone hotspot.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can make something real quick here. Let's do. No, not a cylinder. Let's do
I think that's.
sphere. All right, that'll work. We'll go for.
I don't even see your screen moving here.
It's not doing anything.
I don't see your arrow moving. Did I not allow something to happen here? Uh, hmm.
Oh, technology is defeating us.
Hey, I'm still learning. I mean,
Hey,
I can see your screen and everything. I just don't see your cursor anywhere. I
I
see
can see it on my side.
I see Republic of Gamers, and then
Oh, it's still on my main screen. I wonder. Well, it's
we're
showing
learning,
me.
folks here. So please stand by. We are. Maybe I forgot to hit something. I don't know.
No, I think it might just be laggy because, well, like I said, I use I use my phone hotspot for internet, so it might be struggling to do all three. Um,
Uh,
maybe I'll send you a quick video after, like when we're done with the
all
podcast.
right.
I'll just do a quick video with you, and you can kind of just see how the process works. Because I have no doubt that I really wish we could do this in a way where everybody could see it, because it's so simple, and I think more people should really try it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to like work up your model or whatever it is, but it's worth it because as soon as you get it right, you can immediately do production levels off your 3D printer. Whether that's, you're making a 3D image to make a toy, or you're making a 3D image to make a mold, or, like whatever it is. Maybe you got a new kitchen gadget that you need a paddle for on your stand mixer thing. Like there's so many things out there that are like this close to what you need, but not really. And having the understanding of just this like very simple 3D editing will really up your level of like why your 3D printer is useful and why you bought it in the first place.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm just sitting here, kind of looking at things as you're talking here. Share all windows before application. Maybe that'll.
I bet the viewership during this just probably like plummeted. They're like, I don't want to listen to these guys struggle.
Yeah, that's
These
all right. We're
fuddy
learning.
duds,
Either
old
that, they got
people.
popcorn and giggling. Spicy has started sharing his screen. Double click to enter screen full mode. Oh,
Did it work? I see something flashing on you.
yeah. Clicking it too many times. Press escape, double click. Okay, what did I do here? Try sharing it again.
So according to my side, it's already sharing.
Oh, well.
We'll try it again. Stop share. Do that one.
Okay. All I see is Spicy Mike has started sharing screen share.
That's all right. We can do something later. No big deal.
Yeah, we'll figure this out, folks. Oh, hey, there it is.
Oh, well, I closed out of it. Can you
It
still
popped
see it?
up.
All right, let's try opening this again. Maybe it'll work.
Yep, we need to get Spicy
All
Starlink.
right.
So if anybody wants to sponsor a package for Spicy Mike, go to Spicy Mike. No,
So, geez, maybe don't type that in the internet.
they pops up these OnlyFans.
All right, can you see it now?
We'll just wait a minute. It's probably your internet trying to catch up.
Probably. It's probably like that phone's probably on fire trying to handle all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think there's so many uses for 3D printing and editing. And like I said, I'm on the basic level of it. And it's really easy to like once you try to design a thing, like
Mhm.
just get a measuring tape and see a thing and try to copy it. That's it. That's all it is. Like even if you can't copy it, you'll kind of learn. And
Ah,
now
here we
from that,
go.
oh, can you see it now?
Yep.
All right. Did it switch over to the build plate?
I see something floating around, a cat. I see it looks like a mold recently opened.
Yeah, so that it probably if it's still doing that, like being able to build a lure in real time probably isn't feasible. But like I said, maybe I can do a video, like just do a screen cap,
There we go.
um, and we could just post a short video of me designing something, and you can just post it on your Facebook instead of your podcast.
That'll work. Or I
All
can
right, so
yeah, that'll work. So
heck yeah.
anyway, back to it, buddy. This is kind of cool looking. I mean, you can
What's
stop
that?
sharing your screen anytime you want. But
Yeah. Oh
we
yeah, we'll
need
do
stronger internet. Give it some spinach.
Yeah, it does need some
Um,
spinach. Man, I like spinach. I could use some spinach.
ooh, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Or like
Fresh.
one of my knife making friends posted Brussels sprouts earlier.
Ooh,
I love
I
Brussels
used,
sprouts.
I used to hate those growing up. Could not stand them. That and broccoli and a few other things until I about 24, 25, and all of a sudden I'll eat the shit out of them. I mean, I'll take Brussels sprouts, I'll boil them, then I'll saute them with butter, or if I'll put them in the oven, I'll cut them in half, spend them all bunch of
Yeah.
olive oil, salt. Oh God, I'm getting hungry. Cabbage too. I, no, I take that back. Cabbage, I've always liked cabbage, but I liked it in cabbage roll.
Yeah, I can see that.
Teenagers harassing me. That's one thing Mom used to do. She'd take a couple heads of cabbage, cut it up, then we'd take meatball, make our own homemade meatballs with rice and whatever seasoning,
Yep.
and then marinara sauce or pasta sauce, whatever, and put that in the oven. Oh God, that just sounds good. I haven't made that in a while.
Yeah, there's a restaurant I used to work for a few years ago. So we would like quarter the Brussels, and then deep fry them. So like the outer leaf parts get crispy,
Ooh.
and then you toss them in a bowl with bacon bits, like actual bacon bits that we made, not like the dried red stuff. So we'd hit it with some bacon bits and then salt it and then squeeze lemon over the top of it. So good, man. So good.
We're gonna be in the fridge later in the kitchen eating after this because I am. And I just ate before I came in the house about 4 o'clock. I started feeling like, all right. I looked at the clock and like I hadn't ate since like 11 o'clock, and I'm hyperglycemic sometimes, and I probably ought to lose a little weight too. But I got like, why am I shaking? I look at the clock. Oh, it's time to go. Time to go fuel up. That's one thing about
uh,
your ADHD too is me. Have you ever get that where you're like hyper focused on something and half the day goes on, and
yes.
then you're like, why am I shaking? Why am I thirsty? And you realize you haven't ate or drank all
Yeah.
night.
Oh, my blood sugar is through the floor. That's
Yeah,
why.
right. And you get that headache. And like, oh, I
Yeah,
used
that
to, I
happens to
used to
me a
be,
lot.
I used to be real bad when I was a kid, to the point where I'd vomit. And that's how much my blood sugar would. Yeah, it sucked growing up.
I bet. I
Yeah,
bet.
don't do that much anymore, thank God. But
That's probably good. I'm glad you don't do that anymore.
actually, I don't think I haven't vomited in a couple years. I mean, I'm doing good.
There you go, man. There you go. I think it's the
Um,
same here. It's been a while.
uh, but I'm back on back to your boats. I was gonna say I seen a video, and if I catch it up again, somebody took a made him a fishing boat, like a little pontoon, not a pontoon. Oh, just
Canoe.
aluminum. They took a little aluminum 14 footer, made a flat top out of, but they took the guts out of a jet ski, took the steering and everything, put it in the center, and then and used the jet ski that way they drive it around and everything. So next time I see that, I'll send it to you. So because when you were getting your boats and everything, there's one of your little boats and like that would be a cool build to do. I want to do something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of videos out there where people do they call it a conversion. So they'll go get like the cheap plastic boats like Predator or like there's a million different names for insert brand. But really all they do is like stick a platform on the top with carpet on it and they're like, "Oh, look, I turned it into a bass boat." No, you didn't. You just put a board on top of your boat. That doesn't count.
Pretty much.
So,
But yeah, this
yeah.
guy had the jet ski, had the seat sitting on it, and used the motor and everything go around and everything else like that. That's cool. I
Some
think,
people are really into like just general boating, and for that, I can see that probably pretty cool.
especially going in shallower water too. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm assuming it was like a John boat of some kind with a flat bottom.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
But like I said, if it pop, I'm sure my phone's listening here, so I'm sure it's going to pop up my Facebook feed again. God, I hate that. And now I guarantee I'm going to have fishing stuff pop up through my news feed too. Not
Oh
even.
no.
I look at the everyone's like, "Oh, I wish you wouldn't do that." I agree, but at the same time, who cares? We're in this world one time. I'm not gonna sit there and sweat it until I have to sweat it, if you know what I mean. With all the
No,
crap,
but we'll roll with it.
right? Um, so you got like what, four boats now?
Yep, yep. I got four. I've got the original boat, the red one that I talked about earlier. I've got a very small John boat that I bought for my kid. That one's kind of build in progress. I bought it for $100, and I think I've spent like total maybe slightly less than $300 on it.
Nice.
And yeah, I still got a lot of work left to do to it, but like same as I said earlier, it's all just time, like taking the time to build things in it, and that's free. So I think it'll be by the time I build it and sell it, I think it'll I think it'll be really cool by then, and which I can sell it for more. And the goal for that would be the little teal canoe looking boat that I posted not too long ago. All the money from selling the Little John boat will go into that because my kid likes that boat more than the Little John boat. So it's
Nice.
like, okay, well, we'll build that one out then. We'll sell the Little John boat and we'll build the that one. And then I've got the Buster boat, which is one of those little plastic boats, and I've got it gutted. That one's going to get a full build. It's going to get an actual engine on the back. It's going to have live wells bent into it. It's going to have a two battery system. Gonna have like the engine I was talking about is like a 4 horsepower, so little bitty, perfect amount of power for that little boat. Gas tanks, like I said, dry storage and live wells and stuff like that, so, like wiring and all that. Like it's not hard to do. It just takes time.
Stuff I don't have right now. My time is stuck in the shop, and that's where I'm getting burned out on knife making. Is I got to constantly get in there, produce and everything out, try to sell
Yep.
them, bounce around and everything. I did send a bunch down to Texas, down to Belleville there at Phoenix Knives to sell. That's really cool. I'm going to be sending some out to Tennessee tomorrow to another store. They're going to try to see. I'm going to send her out a few of my blacksmith knives. Started with that because the blacksmith knives are easy. They're my therapeutic knives because they're simple to make. Rat tail handle. You just grind the blade, take it up on conditioning belts. You're done.
Yeah.
It's those things are so much fun to make. Frustrating to forge at times, but considering the rest of the genre of knife making, it's simple and fun. Does that make any
Yeah.
sense? Put
Yes.
some fun back
Yes.
in
I think
knife
we all
making,
have our comfort thing to make.
right? And I've been venturing off a little bit of stuff on, but so we'll just see how those do out there. I did some letter openers, what I call a letter opener. blacksmith knife that took a little piece, taking a page out of the Spicy Mike, doing some little what I think 7/16 or half-inch round spring steel. And every time I cut one of those up, I'm thinking of you, big guy. So when you're doing your live fortunes of a little spring, like, yeah, this is a Spicy Mike style. So,
Yeah, there's a
um,
lot more steel there than most people think.
I know, right? I mean, it's probably about 2.5, 3 inches, give or take, and it's probably about half-inch round. And I
That's
stretched
unfortunate,
out,
buddy.
huh?
What?
Did you just make a Peter's joke?
I did.
Oh, hey, I was in the pool. It was cold. If you get that, I was in the pool. I was in the, oh, Seinfeld. I missed that show.
Yeah, but I mean, there really is like there's not very many people that think about steel as like a liquid because you can touch it, it's solid. You don't think about it as liquid, but when you're able to heat it up and smash it into a different shape, it might as well be a liquid. And yeah, maybe you're only looking at a couple inches, but you're not thinking about like how fat it can be. Another insert joke, but like really, there's
I believe it alone. That's what she
yeah,
said.
but I don't know. There's a lot. If you get good at forging, and that's one of the reasons I'll preach forging, is not only can you take a small amount of steel and make it into something large. If you learn how to forge weld, now you can take small amounts of steel that won't get as wide or as thick or however, whatever shape you need it. You can forge weld a stack of something together, and now you have your steel that you can forge whatever it is you need out of it.
True. Very true. I got me a, ribbon burner forge that I got from Texas Forges,
Nice.
and I don't know why I put it off so long to get in a propane forge. Of course, I have to relearn how to forge because, well, I used a Coke forge for a long time, and you had to watch a lot faster with your heats and everything else.
Yeah.
I called them up and says, "How hot you supposed to be getting?" I said, "Oh, we've had it up about 25, 26." I says, "Well, is it gonna hurt if I had it almost 2,800 degrees?" And like, how did you get it so hot? I don't know. But I was doing some forging some cable billets and such. But uh, now I want to go buy a boat. I haven't got time. I'm getting out of horses. We sold the two mares we've had for about 8, 9, 10. I guess it's been almost 10 years. Didn't really want to do it, but daughter's getting older. I ain't got time. I don't really want to go
Yeah.
right after that fall I took 3 years ago in the rip cellar with the tailbone and everything. It's like I don't know if I can. Because sitting long term and have different chairs, like I got a pillow here. It's made for sitting for since that accident, since I bruised
Yeah.
everything. So I gave that. We sold them, and now I got the horse trailer. We're stuck with a colt right now, 2-year-old colt, trying to get him moved. But I'm going to be out of horses here soon. So daughter's, you know, going into her junior year. So 2 more years, she's going to be out on her own. I'm gonna get myself set up so I can start doing traveling. Maybe start doing more of this. I can go out. Maybe we can do a record a podcast from the boat fishing. That'd be fun,
That'd be cool. That would be
right?
pretty cool.
Um,
Maybe I should have you out and we'll buy a sketchy Facebook Marketplace boat and fix it up that week.
hey, we can record it too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
On this episode of American Bladesmith, we fix up boat. That'd be fun.
I mean, I had my big red boat in the garage. Like, there's plenty of room in there. It would be really easy to like strip it, especially with two people. Like, strip it down, rebuild it, repaint it, or whatever.
Strip the
Like just
boat, not
make it a
each
cool
other.
boat. Oh, why not?
Well, I'm not that kind of guy, bud.
Well, it is air conditioned in there, so it'd
Well,
probably be a little chilly.
there we go. Yeah. Oh hell! Back to the 3D printers.
Sure.
What do you see Elsa making? Or what do you got else? Anything in your back of your mind sitting there that besides fishing lures and cool stuff?
I do a lot of models. Um,
I've seen that.
yeah, so I'll try to get this one as on camera as I can. It kind of fell apart a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm into a hobby called Gunpla, which is Gundam. It's a cartoon that is basically invented to sell toys,
Mhm.
but the models are actually really cool. So you can see this guy here. They got like a
Oh, that's badass.
yeah double Gatling shield gun thing, And like a lot of this was custom. So like this is like the main kit that I used is called Heavy Arms. It's from the Gundam Wing series, part of the Gundam universe. And then I took a bunch of parts from like Universal Century Gunpla stuff, which is a very different art style than Gundam Wing, and kind of combined them to make what Heavy Arms from Gundam Wing would look like if you shoved it into the Universal Century timeline. And that's another thing that like if you get into 3D design, even if it's simple stuff like just adding a part here or there, or like splitting something in half, or making this part fit, just making an angle just a little bit different so it fits on this instead of that. Like there's so much of that that it just translates so well. And if you can just learn just a smidge of that kind of thing, like what even if it's attaching parts or resizing a part to fit a different scale of model, like it's all there and it's very simple and it's really not that hard to do. You might have to print apart a couple of times because maybe you measured wrong or typed in the wrong thing, or you thought you measured it right and you printed it right. It just doesn't happen to fit. Whatever it is, like there's so many things and it's so inexpensive to print something that it's almost impossible
Uh-oh. Oh no. Did your phone just die?
in any given
Oh, there
situation
we
as
are.
long as they can do just what did I cut out?
You froze. Your
Did the
internet is
audio
unstable. That might be mine.
did the audio come through?
Uh, it froze for a second. We only lost a couple seconds. We're fine.
Oh, I was in the middle of a long rant.
Uh,
But anyway, the basic thing is like it translates to so many things. Just learning just the basic amount of 3D software, and then how like having a 3D printer. It's so I know it seems intimidating and like hard to do,
hmm
but once you try it, it's immediately not intimidating anymore.
Something I need to get into. There's so much. I mean, even with 3D printing, who was I talking to just the other day about this? We were talking about 3D printing. Uh, I think it was Yellow Rose Forge. We were talking about how they, well, they're printing the for mosaic steels. They print out the patterns out of the whatever stuff that's
Yeah.
carbon. You can do it for that. That would be a lot of fun. I know there's some metal ones they would print out use the nickel wire and it would print out. You know what? Do you know what 3D printers remind me of?
No.
And I'm losing the name. Star Trek. You know, you go over and get your not a replicator. Replicator? Yeah, replicator. Where you go over and get your food. You know. Yep. You've never watched Star Trek, have you?
I was very young.
Oh. Well, there's tons of awesome Star Trek. Well, they got these machines. You go in there, you can tell it what you want, orange juice, or a part or whatever. That's what these 3D printers remind me of.
Yeah, that's essentially what they are.
And I'm pretty sure that's probably who invented it was some geek that watched Star Trek too. So,
I remember before they came out with 3D printers, they had what they called a 3D pen. And it was essentially like the print head of a 3D printer, but you could hold it. And it was the same thing. It had like a filament, and you could basically stretch a line, like however you wanted. Um, they didn't
hmm.
work all that great, but they were an interesting tool. And then when they came out with the 3D printing side of it, like that, obviously that was like the next evolution of melting stuff to make a 3D object.
Nice. I mean, it's wild. There's kids around here that are doing that. They're printing off the little toys and everything, going around the little.
Hmm.
It's cool to see the kids making them, setting them up, build up, and then go to a little event and sell them on the table and such.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that. I mean, sparking in the younger generation into a different level of entrepreneurship or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
That
there's a lot of controversy around that particular part where
oh,
like if you go to like let's say you go to a craft fair and you just sell 3D printed things. People are like, "Well, you shouldn't be making the money off that because you didn't really invent the file." And like I feel like I get where they're coming from, but it seems like kind of a hollow argument because a lot of 3D images like you have to pay for. So if you paid for the STL, your 3D file, and then you printed it on your machine with your filament, like I feel like you should be able to sell that.
I,
And
I, I
sort of like
don't
my go ahead.
gonna say, I'm sitting there like, what does that matter? I mean, there's some of the stuff that we buy in knife making that, handles like handle material like, well, from Emily. She designs and stuff like that, buying other stuff. And it's like, what's the difference between buying a file and buying somebody else's hand material and putting it on your knife?
Right, because you're purchasing their work. Like
Yeah.
whether it's yeah.
I
So
mean,
what
honestly, no, that's weird. I
a
mean,
lot of the
how,
argument is for the free ones that you can get because they're like, oh, well, they put that into the world, and anybody could 3D print that. Why would I pay you for it? It's like, well, yeah, anyone could 3D print that, but I did.
yeah. Do you have a 3D printer? Well, no. Okay, then. End of argument. That's such
Yeah,
a dumb argument. Like, well, so what? They put it out there. Somebody designed it. You know what? I'm going to put it on the internet for free for people to download if they want to make money off it. More power to it.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
it's
like
kind of
that's like you saying that you have the corner on kitchen cutlery. Literally, because what I got into making chef knives is by watching you. And that kind of gave me the idea. It's like, you know what? I need to try because I made drop point Hunter Skinner knives for decades, and
hmm
it's weird to say decades now. We're getting old. Well, I've been literally making them that style knife since I was 10, and then started watching you and everything else. Like, I'm going to try my hand to it. Did they come out look like spicy mites? No. Were they a lot heavier? And I do mine totally different from yours, but um, that's like, oh, you can't do that. That's my thing. And I don't do it all the time. But the people
I
saying,
don't care. You can make knives however you want, even if
oh, I
it could be
know,
a
but I'm
copy of
just,
mine. I don't care.
oh, I know. I'm just saying that's be like knife makers trying to say that about certain knives. Now I pay homage to, hey, I know every now and then it's like, yeah, I got into it because spicy mite. And literally, that's where I draw my inspiration from on my chef knives. Uh,
Oh, I'm
so
flattered.
eh, look at him turn all rosy red. Well, no,
Oh
seriously.
yeah.
I mean, you got me into making chef knives. Like, okay, I'm gonna try that out. So,
There's
uh,
something about them that just feels a lot better to me because like let's say you make a big bit like a camping knife or a big hunting knife. Like people are gonna go out and use that like I don't know what 2, 3 times a year maybe.
hmm
And if they do go like what are the chances they actually take that thing out and use it? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you make a kitchen knife, people have to eat every day, multiple times a day, or at least they should. You know, so like it's like a staple of cooking because you have to cut stuff to cook it.
hmm
So
Unless you try to
there's
take out Spicy's chef knife to use as a camp knife.
yeah, that was interesting. And the guy was like, "Oh, I okay, back up to that story.
Sorry, I
I
had to.
used to do go ahead.
I said sorry about that at the backtrack there. Um, it just popped up when you got when the camp knife thing, and that popped up in my head. So on with it.
Yeah, so what happened was I used to do what I called live auctions. So basically, there would be viewers. I would do a live video. The viewers would bid on the knife that I was making in that video. And kind of the part that made it interesting and was what pulled in engagement, the high bidder at the time got to make decisions on how the knife developed. So like that was a really good way for me to make money because it up the bid, and then it was a good way for the community to interact because whatever the highest bid it was got to decide what happened next. So not only did it push me as a smith to learn how to do changes on the fly, but it also garnered a lot of engagement. And this one particular fellow, I ended up doing a kind of a small, short chef K-tip kind of knife. K-tip bunka, however you pronounce those. But he went camping with his friends, and this knife was made out of 52-100. And being as it's a kitchen knife, you don't temper it very high because you want it to maintain a lot of that hardness. Well, he went and hacked on a dead pine tree with this thing, like really hacked on it, and the edge broke off, or like a good chunk of it. And he was angry, and he's like, "This isn't a good knife. I paid good money for this knife." And it broke. It's like, well, yeah, dude, this isn't forged in fire. I designed it for a purpose, and you used it for the opposite of that purpose. Like,
It's not an axe here. It's not a buoy to
yeah.
chop up wood. I mean, I see,
And it was like
and
a 6 inch blade. Like, it had a 6 inch cutting edge, I think, maybe 6 and a quarter, but it was roughly six. like, why would you do that?
And then he decided to make a bad review about it, and that was,
Oh, he deleted that so fast.
yeah, he got beat up. I'm like, come on, dude. I mean, and I think I know why he probably did it, because you see all those videos of people out in the woods, and they got this knife. They use that whole knife for everything. So that knife might be made for that, but Spicy's kitchen knife is not.
Yeah.
It-
Like obviously you're gonna have a trade-off. Every knife is a trade-off between durability and edge holding. Like you're gonna find land on that spectrum somewhere. But if you're like if personally I make dedicated kitchen knives for use in the kitchen. So if you go and take them out and use them in a way that it's not intended to be used, it's not going to perform well. Same with like let's say you, Mike, make like a 8-inch hunting knife, right? And like you do everything right for a hunting knife, and then somebody goes to try to cut, I don't know, cut a cabbage in half. Like obviously it's not going to do very well because you've engineered it to be a tough, strong knife.
Mhm.
So that lands on the other side of the spectrum from being a really solid performing chef knife. It's like, well, it doesn't cut very well. It's like, yeah, no shit. It's not supposed to cut cabbage. It's designed to take a tree down.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You might cut it in half, but you're not going to get that nice, pretty cut. Like
yeah,
I've got
exactly.
one of your. Actually, I got two of your knives. The first
I
one
know
I
you've got a
wanted was,
San Mai one.
what's that? Yeah, I got the semi one. It's a little bit bigger. I think you built one before and you didn't like it, and so you started over again. And I got this really beautiful. I use it a lot in my kitchen for about everything. It's so nice.
That may be. I used to drink a lot back then, so I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. I think I don't know. I'll send a picture to you. You'll probably remember when you see it. He made enough knives. It's like one person here a while back. Well, I got this one knife 4 years ago. I'm like, okay,
Okay, I make like 100 a week, so
yeah. I mean, send me a picture. She sends me a picture. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Now I remember that knife. Uh, I'm not gonna make one like that, but I'll make one similar to it. And here's the price. Da da da. Oh, okay. And it's like she looked at me seriously, and I'm not trying to make fun of her. It's like, well, don't you remember every knife you make?
no.
No. Oh,
Like
it's
that happens to me pretty often too. Like someone can send me a picture and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely one of mine," but that doesn't mean I remember making it.
right.
Like when
Um,
you've been a maker long enough and you've made so many knives, like you can't remember all of them.
yeah, especially when you make 200 to 300 a year, if not a little bit more, depending on
Yeah.
what you're making. Um, One thing I think would be cool about with 3D printers, is printing up hand material. And I got just thinking about it here. Printing out, well, for hidden tank handles, that'd be kind of cool. You could go and design it. In matter of fact, you could set the how you want your hole in your handle instead of have to drill it out and fit it, just everything. You could probably design it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you could do. You could add different textures, depending on how far you got into modeling.
hmm
Like you could do hollows inside of it, or like I said, alternating textures based on which part of the handle it's on. There's all kinds of good stuff you could do to, well, pretty much anything, but specifically to knives, you could absolutely, if you have a production model that comes out, I don't know, let's say within 10% of each other, there's going to be variances here and there. That's just how it works. But you can like have a margin of error that will still fit because you modeled your handle to be able to still fit that margin of error, and you could have a production knife with a production printed handle. Like it's doable.
that's kind of cool. Especially, I mean, again, I've only seen pictures and videos of people's different things. They had the racks of different colors of stuff, and then you could put it in, put a swirl or whatever. Yeah, I'm doing hands here, like people like most only way
Doing
people see.
karate.
Yeah, wow, kind of like that one night at Dustin's. You're like, that was so. I wish we could find
Oh
that.
man.
I wish
I
that.
think all of our stomachs hurt from laughing after that night.
Oh, that was a fun time. We need to do that again.
With
Hopefully,
maybe with less alcohol.
yes. I don't drink near as much. I mean, I'll have a mixed drink here and there. I don't touch beer anymore because,
They go down easy.
well, it just I makes me feel.
There are a lot of calories.
Even drinking a Michelob. I mean, the last one I drank just didn't set good on my gut anymore. Maybe it's just I'm getting older. I'll be 41 next month. and it's weird to say that. I think what you're what you're just a little bit younger than me, ain't you? You're still in your 30s, ain't you?
36, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're just a young kid. Oh,
Yeah, clearly with the giant white beard.
you're right. Uh, well, you could be the poster board. I'm 20. I'm 21 years old. I'm a knife maker.
Yeah, okay. The I hope I'm not the knife making poster boy. There's so many people out there that are way better than me.
Well, no, I meant that you see those things like da da da, and your job ages you, kind of
Oh yeah, definitely.
that's
It
where I was
definitely
going
be
at.
that way.
But yeah, these three D printers got a lot of applications out there in the upcoming, and especially like I said, building parts with the ones that
Yeah.
weld. And well, take back to SpaceX. I think that's how they some of the rocket motors. Again, I'm not 100% if they cast them or they're 3D printing the version 3 Raptor 3 rockets. I want to say they're 3D printing it. It would make sense. That thing
I'm
is
not
cool.
familiar.
When you get a second,
Um,
if you get bored, look up from version 1 to version 3 of the Raptor rocket motors for Starship. Wow. The first one's got a whole shitload of stuff on it. Second one, a little bit less. Third one is like making it is taking that car and you're taking off everything, making it a slick race car. That's what it
oh,
looks
very
like.
nice.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
So the ones that do the metal, like you're talking about, those are really expensive. So what you could do, like you probably won't be able to afford one, and that's not a dig at you. I'm just saying like you probably won't be able to afford it. But what you can do is there's lots of companies that you can design this file, and then you can send them your 3D image, and they will make the product for you and send it back. And I've got some friends that have utilized this, and they say it's actually not very expensive, for what the process is. So, like, yeah, you can still design whatever your thing is that you need, outsource the printing part, and get you like a custom made part that you designed that you just outsourced the production to.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Never thought of that. But yeah, it's just like I don't know, I just got thinking here a while back. I was telling my buddies like like the old parts for the sewing machines, because they're cast. Some of these sewing machines are 100 years old,
yeah.
and I guarantee there's no parts. I mean, there's probably some sitting somewhere collecting dust that they don't want to get rid of it because all it is one little part. You can't get any more, and no foundry is going to touch it because they want to build dozens of them, in order to make it worth it for them, or and let them go
Yeah.
find the mold or whatever, build it and everything up with 3D printing. If you got the pieces, again, build it. And think there's 3D scanners too that scan them, help you build them. I don't know. I've seen stuff on YouTube. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah,
No, they do make the 3D scanners, so you could use that to get like part of a base model. They're not perfect, but they should at least give you a good starting point. And yeah, there's a lot of like the PPS CF10 that I use, like there's engineering, they call them engineering filaments. So there's all kinds of one out there that you could get that are plenty hard or flexible or wear resistant, like stuff like that. So yeah, you absolutely could take one of those fittings and print it in something that will be as good, if not better, than the original product.
very cool. Gonna be sure. Like I say, it comes down to the fishing poles. I mean, imagine you could probably print. It'd be little sections at a time and print out your own fishing pole. I got a buddy of mine. I'll have to hook you up with him. You guys would. He's pretty cool. Brad of BC Custom Rods. A little plug there. He's been on the side. He's been doing different fishing poles and such, and custom them, turning them, and everything. It's really cool. I need to get off my butt and have him make me one.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the rod making process, but I do know I've purchased some recently that are made out of, I think they're called graphite rods, or it's essentially a carbon material
Hmm.
cast in a resin that basically is like carbon fiber. They're insanely light, they're insanely sensitive, and you can feel everything that you touch under the water with those. Like they are phenomenal. Um, Chaz, I went fishing with him a couple days ago. Uh, Not the same day that he caught his fish. The day before that, I hooked a fish that, I mean, it was a monster. And I could tell it was a monster because it was a relatively uh, heavy rod. So, like you have your feather light, and on the other end you have your really heavy. And it was kind of maybe medium-ish, but when I set the hook on that fish, even that rod that was made to be stiffer, like it arced really, really hard. And you could just tell what's on the other end of it because they're that good. They're so light, they're so sensitive that I don't know how to go any farther with that. Like you just have to try one. If
Hmm.
he's making them out of that, awesome. That's cool.
I'll have to ask him about that. I'll share that with him.
I'll
I
send you a
know,
link to a really good one.
yeah, dude, do. I grew up on fishing with the ugly stick, the good old fashioned 6 foot ugly stick,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Ugly
Uh,
Stick has now what they call the GX2 model, which is kind of their version of carbon fiber, I think.
nice.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
But yeah, and then here, and I still got it too. Matter of fact, I'm looking right at it. They opened Cabela's up back in I want to say '05, '04, up in Utah County. And about '05, '06, when I started driving truck, we used to haul coal to Kennecott to their power plant, and there was truck parking, so we could go up there. We'd haul ass up on a Saturday morning, go dump, go and then go dick off at Cabela's for a couple hours. And I wanted to I had a little extra cash, I'm thinking, all right, I'll stop at Cabela's, see what I can find for a pole. And I'm wandering through, and this guy's just following me around, and he's trying to sell me $100, $200, $300 pole. Well, it's got this kind of bearings in it and the reel. I'm like, bud, I'm looking for just a simple pole that's going to sit behind the seat of the pickup, bounce around, probably get used once or twice a year. Why the fuck am I going to send, pardon my French, why the hell am I going to spend $300 on a fishing pole that I'm going to use 2 to 3 times a year? Well,
Well,
go ahead.
I can get that argument, and coming from your perspective, yeah, like you don't want to spend a boatload on a particular rod. Now, if you're just an avid fisherman or someone that fishes tournaments like professionally, you're gonna want one of those rods because like I said, there's a difference in feel between the old school ugly stick that wiggled all over the place if you sneezed wrong, and then like these new ones that are so light but stiff that like I said, you could feel everything in under the water. So like, yeah, there's a little bit for everybody,
Oh,
but
I agree.
some of these really high end rods, not only they're not just expensive because of what they're made of, they're expensive because they have a whole like concept and testing department that spent who knows how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to develop this new product. So like that kind of reflects the price also. And like after 5 to 10 years, like whatever that cutting edge thing is going to be, would end up being standard. And now you can get the same thing from insert any Chinese brand, like it will be the standard at the time. But they're like you're always going to have that cutting edge that will cost you two, three, $400 because it like at the time it was invented, it is the top of the line.
True. And I get and I get that and everything, but at me, I was just kind of looking around. I wasn't big on buying another one because my old ugly stick finally wore out. I think it snapped in half actually.
Yeah, they'll do
But
that.
I found one. Then he got back. Oh yeah, we got some clearance ones right there. It's like, why didn't you just say so? Went over and looked at it. Found I think it's a Shakespeare, yeah, Cabela's Shakespeare rod,
Nice.
and it was the scratched down to $25 from 125. Boom, sold. And the guy
That's
was
the
getting
one.
me as I was walking to go checking out, and I was looking back, and the guy's sitting there freaking glaring at me like, dude, I'm relaxed. It
Yeah,
was just a funny experience, and this is like over 20 some odd years, 20 years ago. Yeah, about 20 years ago, I've had that pole, and it's
good
been a
lord.
good pole. It's just I'm stupid simple, I guess, when it comes to certain things like that. Um, and
Well, like you said though, you're just gonna use it two, 3 times a year, and it's gonna live in the back of your truck. Yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting the top of the line.
and
It'll
and he's going off. Well, that's got so many bearings on this thing, the reel on it, so action. So I'm like, that's cool, bud. You're not listening.
Yeah, I could see that being frustrating for sure.
But I personally, I thought it was funny in my head. I was just like, Cabela's was just open, just barely open like a year or two before that, and So they were starting. I get it as a salesman. I get it and everything. I just found it hilarious. But yeah,
Yeah. Back
um,
to your question about 3D printing your rods, though.
yes,
I don't know. I don't like so if you're doing FDM printing like I am, your print is always going to be weak along the layer lines because it builds everything in like as layers, right? So your bond between the layers is your weak spot. So if you print something vertically, it's going to be weak in this direction. That's just how they work, and you can orient it to try to get the uh, best angle for your layer lines to sit, so you get good detail and good layer bonding. But as far as FDM printing, I don't think that would quite work. Maybe there's a type of resin out there for a resin printer that could do something like that, but I don't know. I don't know that they could print rods
yeah.
like that would compete. Yeah, not yet. I don't think they would be able to print something that would compete with what's on the market for far less money.
Do you do any fly fishing?
I used to a long time ago, back when I was like a teenager. I had
Same.
a fly fishing rod, and they just had the little poppers, that you get from Walmart. They're basically just a piece of cork with a feather tied on the back and a hook.
That's I remember my first fishing trip when I was a kid. I was probably like two or three, and my dad. The first time I can vividly remember going fishing, we went out to a place called Maple Grove, and we did fly fishing. It's a little stream, little brooks, and that's some planted trout. Just little guys. There's some native brookies in there. I remember going out there, little and everything, fly fishing and everything. Wasn't paying attention, was standing a little too close. Dad hooked me a few times, in
Oh,
the
nice. Yeah, that's good.
right. Well, that's when you're standing on the wave, like being a dove. But fast forward, 20, another 20 years, 10 years or whatever. Dad got us a set of collapsible fly rods. It was 6 foot altogether, 6 foot carbon fiber, claps down so you can just pack it, put in your backpack. Got those, we broke them out between me and Dad. That went from starting at the very top of the up by the mountain, go clear down to the bottom to the road where Mom picked us up. I think from fish about this big to about this big, catch and release 300 and like 20 some odd fish between us both on that one day. That was a lot of
That's
fun,
a good day.
right? I still got the rod. I got to send it up and have because the top piece I've lost. I was fishing one day and it went pop. The very top popped off, went right in the middle of the water, and
I've had that happen.
so I found it and I couldn't figure out where the hell it was. Well, I found it here a couple weeks ago. I was going to send it with Brad to get fixed and everything. Totally spaced it off, but hopefully I can get that up there and get my pole back so I can give Dad his back.
Yeah. It's kind of like like your own bed, Like there's no bed like your own bed. Same
Right?
with the rod that you're used to, I imagine.
That's what she said. Anyway, well, hey, I think we're getting a little long on the tooth here. Been almost 2 hours. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I can. It's easy to talk when you get relaxed.
Right. But that's cool. I mean, I've been loving watching what you've been printing. I saw your little thing. I was like, oh, that's all right. Let's talk about this. It's cool to see all these 3D stuff. I just need to get on this computer and sit here and play with it and not get so damn frustrated because I'm one of those is like I try to do it the first try, and when it comes to computer stuff, I'm not that great. I'm sure, like I said, if I sit here and played with it a little bit more and everything, I'd probably do a lot better. Again, it's just one of those gotta, I don't know, bite the bullet and just learn it and quit being stubborn. Oh, speaking of which, back to your little models you're printing off. I was thinking as you're talking about them, the ones you've been building and such. I remember back when I was a kid, I had a few of the old Transformer toys from the
Yeah.
80s. And I remember I had one. It was soundtrack. It would come out and enter a little robot, and then it turned back into a cassette tape.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen one or held one, but
I had one of those. It's like I wonder what those. I wish I would have kept a lot of the toys when I was a kid, like all the Land Before Time toys from Pizza Hut.
Land Before Time. Good Lord.
I know back when that traumatized us as children, introduced to yeah. We need to bring that stuff back and start traumatizing our children with that. Maybe that'd be a little bit better. I don't know. Just sound good.
Try not to traumatize children. It's not really on my to-do list.
Well, you know what I mean. Like the Land of Time, introducing
Or
little
like a
football.
Watership Down.
Yes, I had all those toys and everything. I was growing up and everything, and I gave them away later on. It's like, I wish I'd have kept those. Not for just, because they're worth some money now.
But yeah, just for nostalgia.
Yes, it would be. And that's like I said, I'm finally starting to buy me Star Trek models. Um, I don't know. If I wanted to get a 3D printer to print these off, make the pieces to build my own models and paint them up how I want them, what kind of 3D printer would you recommend for somebody like me to get or somebody listening?
Well, if you're wanting to do models specifically, it really depends on the detail you're looking for. So you've got resin printers and you've got FDM printers. FDM means filament deposit method. It melts some plastic, shoves it in a spot, moves on. So resin printers, the resin and your stuff to clean the resin, it's very messy and very toxic. So you have to have insanely good ventilation, if you don't want to die at like 42. I went with FDM specifically because it was non-toxic, and I got one. It's called the A1 Mini, the Bamboo A1 Mini, and I got that one specifically because at the time it was rated the best in detail, and I still think it holds that title, honestly. So I've added a couple things to it to make it a little bit better over time. I got a diamond back nozzle, incredibly expensive nozzle, but it's amazing. So between the printer that's already good at detail and then the nozzle that can hold a way more constant temperature, it's just a better nozzle. And having the right filament, I use PLA plus 2.0 by Sunlu. But it's got a small build plate. So like, yeah, you can get incredible detail with all of those factors combined. But if you're going for a large model, typically the A1 Mini is not really going to be large enough. So that, if I were to recommend one for a small model or a medium model like you've got there,
Yeah, I would say
maybe
something
the
about medium to small.
yeah, if you can get models that are in segments and you have to build them,
Yes, that's
A1 would probably the full size A1 would probably do. But they have ones that are like they've got great big build plates, like 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches. But a lot of the ones that are large like that, they don't have as good a detail. So it really just depends on like where on that spectrum. Like if you want the best detail you can get, that's a resin printer. If you want good detail, but maybe not the largest parts, then you can do like the A1 or A1 Mini, and then you have your very large volume things, which would be like an FDM, a giant FDM printer of some kind, just has a large build volume. So I can't really recommend like, oh, you should definitely get this exact one. You'll kind of have to decide where your priorities lie and which printer lands kind of in that segment of what you're after.
I would think for me, it's something to maybe give the texture of the ship a little bit, but then I have to go back in and paint it how I want. Um, Not print the whole thing out. Maybe if I did really small models, have it printed all out at once, all together. But I think
Yeah.
I would like to, print the whole or put this, the nacelles and put them together and paint them. Give just enough detail on it that, you can go in and do the paint or add little lights to it or whatever. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot of fun. A lot of the models, well, one of the things with 3D printing is you can change the scale just by clicking and dragging, and that'll make your thing bigger or smaller. So, like, maybe you do find a model that you really want, and it's like 2 feet big, like you could take that and size it down to make it fit your printer just by dragging the scale button.
Where you could cut it down in a section and print and then put it
Yeah,
on.
you could do that too. That doesn't come out if you cut them, like literally cut the model in a couple different places and print them, they won't, you'll have to do some finagling, I guess, to get them to fit perfect. But yeah, you should be able to get it close enough that like you could definitely be able to super glue and sand it to make it work.
Nice. So, well. I think we're gonna punch out for now. That was fun. That got me thinking a lot about these 3D printers and not only for, doing models, but also cool stuff in the shop eventually when I get a little bit smarter.
No, it just takes some practice. That's all it takes.
Let's do this. So we're gonna dive into the words of wisdom moment. So any words of wisdom from the spicy?
Not particularly. Don't smash your finger and make your fingernail fall off like I did. That's my words of wisdom, I suppose.
Don't smash your finger. All right. I like
Yeah.
it. Hey, appreciate it for doing this again. Let's definitely get together later on down. I know it's second time. I think I'm doing a little bit better with this.
Yeah, just well, like anything. Same with 3D modeling. It just takes practice.
Yep. And I've been enjoying it. I hope to do a lot more. I set myself out to do a whole year of recording, and that's coming up in August. So the first part
Nice.
of
You're getting
August.
close.
I know, right? I did like 25 episodes for season two or season one, 25, 26. I'm probably going to take it out to like 30, and I think that it's going to land me into August. And then we're going to reevaluate. So far, I've made like $6 off of ad revenue, which is,
Ooh,
I know, right? I looked at it, I was like, woohoo! I know it's not much to celebrate, but hey, that's awesome.
making it rain with $6. If you get that all
Right.
in pennies,
Sure. If you get, can't even go to the bank and get pennies anymore.
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But all right, Spicy, let's get out of here and go have some fun, go 3D printing some stuff and go fishing.
Sounds good, man.
All right, man. Hey, remember, stay sharp, America, and remember there's only one king, and that's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Have a good one. God bless. Stay tuned. Hold on one second. Let me end this.